Good morning, folks. We're out here at Golden Gate Canyon State Park again. Got a lot of snow on the ground, so we've put on our yak tracks this time and our gators. Show what and gators and yak tracks. The snow is kind of slippery and icy today, so we want to make sure we don't fall down. But we wanted to tell you about our cat yesterday, Miss Ellie. She's 15 years old, you got to remember that. So she got a little frisky yesterday, and I was changing the sheets on the bed, and she got frisky and started tearing around in the bedroom and jumped up on the bed and did a circle, and then she did another circle and ran into the wall and banged her head right on the wall. So we did the concussion protocol on her. She seems to be okay. She knew what day it was and everything. So, but that was just, I wish I had had the video on. That was just too funny. And of course she was looking at us like, don't laugh at me, because we were laughing pretty hard. So last time we were up here and we did bootleg bottom, I was complaining about how cold and windy it was, because it was only going to get into the 50s and the winds were going to be blowing. Then we went home and we got 12 inches of snow in Denver, and it did not get above freezing for quite a while, about a week. So now we're up here and it's going to get into the low 50s and the wind is going to be gusting, and we're just happy because it's so warm. Yay, yak tracks, I guess. Yeah, this is one of the first times this winter we have worn the yak tracks. So it's a matter of how much do you trust them and how cautious do you need to be since you're hiking on packed snow. See, and there's another intersection. We are on the Buffalo Trail heading toward Forgotten Valley. Yeah, it'll take us into a hunting area, but we're gonna give it a shot anyway. Joy's got her orange ball cap on and her bright red backpack. Oh, I should have put the baskets on my hiking poles. I didn't realize the snow was going to be so deep. Yeah, well, there are enough. Don't have to walk in the deep stuff. And combination of yak tracks, hiking boots, and gaiters. The whole point being keep the feet dry. And the hiking boots are waterproof. And keep the hiker upright. And keep the hiker upright. Well, then you miss an opportunity for snow angels. Oh, true. Snow angels would have humpbacks because of the packs. This is only the second time we've ever used the yak tracks, isn't it? I don't know. We used them last winter out at the Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. After you fell on the ice. Oh yeah, and it was a very icy patch covered by fresh snow, and we're walking along. Joy's wearing her yak tracks, and I'm going, nah, it ain't that bad. And I hit the ice before I knew I was falling down. And Joy did not laugh. I didn't even take a picture.
Yeah. So then we had just started the trail, so we hiked right on back to the car. I got my yak tracks. And it might. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at those tracks. Probably funny.
No, they're yaks. Okay, onward.
Right.
There's trail etiquette that if you're hiking on a trail and it's muddy, you should really just hike on the muddy trail, because if you get out of the mud, you're creating an additional trail and making more mud. And I guess the same thing sort of applies in the snow. The trick for me is I don't know where the trail is. This looks wide enough that it could be a road.
Yeah.
And since I'm wearing the mic, I was trying to sort of walk parallel to Joy so that if she ever has a chance to get a word in edgewise, the mic would pick her up.
You know I don't talk.
That's right.
And my family's going, what? Just get her on the phone. You can't get her to shut up.
Really? I thought when you talked to your family on the phone, mostly what you said was, yeah, oh, somebody's at the door.
I never used that one. Family, I've never used that one. I guess I'll just have to put my baskets on and leave them on now.
Maybe. She just wants to use your baskets.
I never used them.
That's right, never use my baskets. For us, coming from the southeast and not being raised with snow, it's sort of hard. And you're thinking, oh, I can just walk in the snow. But it's not deep enough. I mean, it's plenty deep for us Floridians, but it's not deep enough to cover up all the rocks. And when you're hiking and you can't see what's under the rocks, under the snow, you never know when you're going to fall off a rock that's partially covered, or I don't know. Caution is advised. It's not so much falling in the snow, it's falling on a rock under the snow.
Trying to talk Wendy into buying some snowshoes for when the snow does get deep enough, but
No luck so far.
she keeps thwarting me. So we came upon this cabin that we're wondering if the state park would let us fix up and maybe live in. You know, it doesn't need too much work. Just a new roof and
Floor,
floor,
walls.
sides, and bathroom, and maybe that's not such a good idea.
I'm gonna go get a rose hip.
That is a rose hip, viewers.
Wendy's gonna stick it in her mouth, viewers.
Don't tell the state park.
It is a very good source of vitamin C if you were actually living in that fixer-upper. And you're not going to be getting much in the way of fresh fruits and veggies. And if you're not of a mind to sticking those things in your mouth, they do make a nice tea, hot beverage.
Oh, you were going to talk about weather.
A weather event.
Weather event.
The snow that dumped on us, it was a 3-day event. 6 inches, followed by 3 inches, followed by 3 more inches over the course, yes, of 3 days. Shortly after that, or during that, I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, the fires started in California. And it turns out that as the snow and cold, cold air hit Colorado, the winds started blowing from the Rockies west to toward California, and then they picked up heat and more wind as they crossed the desert area. And that became the Santa Ana Diablo winds that helped fuel the most recent California fires. And I'm not a weather person. I was a little bit astounded that snow in Colorado would impact hot, dry, fire-producing winds in California, but there it is. Some of the literature, it talks about moose loving the bottomlands full of willows, but in our travels we have unexpectedly come across moose eating aspen leaves next to a cabin. We have seen them in a wide spot in a valley, sort of like this, browsing on, I don't even know what it was, underbrush, but definitely not willows. So the answer is, I'm not really sure. I'm thinking willows are prime habitat, and if they're hungry, they'll be wherever there's something to eat. I've never seen one of the camping shelters here, or maybe, anyway, we've never videoed one of the shelters here. It's not that far off the trail, but far enough. Here's the bear box. Again, safely removed from the shelter, relatively. Yeah, that opposable thumb. Here, let me try. Oh, there we go.
That's a bear box.
Food storage, and then take it when you leave.
Your trash in there as well to keep the bears out of your trash.
And they talk about stinky things.
Lip balm.
Deodorant. If you're out here long term, well, you wouldn't be washing your hair and putting conditioner in it anyway. But, yeah, some deodorants are very highly scented and attractive. Bears smell. I mean, no, bears have a good sense of smell. I have no idea how they smell, and I don't particularly want to know. All right. And your ground pad.
Warm. Face of the sun. Warm in here. like there's a trail here that goes down to the bottom of the hill where
Filter.
filter it.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Joy's talking and I've got the mic.
Oh, yeah. So there's a trail that goes down here to the water source at the bottom of the hill, which is that little stream we've been walking beside. And you have to use the filter to get all the
Potential.
potential stuff that'll make you sick out of it.
And yeah, I pulled out the compass on my phone, and it does indeed face south so that you catch as much sun as you can. It might be a different thing in the winter, in the summer. It might be too hot in there. Okay. We're hiking down into Forgotten Valley. Are we live?
Yes.
All right, we are at the site of the Tallman Ranch. I'm assuming it's not Tall Man because it's Swedish heritage. They moved in here in 1876. They bought a one-room schoolhouse, moved it here, added a porch and a kitchen to it. And then there were Tallmans and or their what?
Let's walk down.
Walk down. And or their offspring until 1955. So that's close to 200 years. They finally left, sold it to a developer in 55, and thank God, in 1970, the state of Colorado got it and incorporated it or built a park around it. So it is now preserved. It is also on the State Register of Historic Places. This was the chicken house / workshop. We're approaching, I think this is the kitchen part of the house. And you can sort of see where the one-room schoolhouse begins on the other side of the sloped roof. And then you can see where they added on the porch. And you're not supposed to camp here. And downhill is a lake that I don't know, did they build it? It didn't mention that in the informative kiosk that we were looking at. But it's, I'm going to town for supplies. You don't do it in an hour or two, and Amazon doesn't deliver. And somebody sat in the rocker. It be broke.
It'd be broke. You're right.
Must have been a shock. It got steep, and then it got snowy. So
Then
now
it
we got
steeper.
Yeah, now we got snowy and steep. And Joy says, "Oh, let's film this." And then she said, "I'll go back and get the camera." And then I said, "Uh-huh."
Good damn thing.
There she goes. There's a song, climb me once and climb me twice and climb me once again.